They were the most difficult 6 hours of Meenakshi Sarma's life. The MNC executives scrambled to arrange blood needed for her boy's complex surgery at a prominent hospital in Delhi. Given her reach and connections, she somehow managed supplies from a private bank hospital in the city in the nick of the time. But what about the common man of India who isn't as fortunate as Sarmaji's child?
India has the world's largest shortage of blood, with all states together battling a huge shortfall of 41 million units and demands outstripping supply by over 400%. Why is this shortage happening? Yes, you guessed it right. Lack of seamless structure of blood management system, and not just that, we have all been through this deadly pandemic and we all know the extraordinary demand for blood and blood products has been yet another consequences of the COVID-19.
आप खून तो दे देते हो किसी की जान बचाने के लिए, लेकिन क्या उससे किसी की जान बच रही होती है या कोई उससे पैसा कमा रहा होता है? राइट नाउ देयर इज नो सिस्टम दैट प्रोवाइड्स द डोनर विद एन ऑप्शन ऑफ ट्रैकिंग वेयर द ब्लड इज एक्चुअली रिसाइडिंग इन द एंटायर चेन. A tremendous amount of human intervention and the lack of technology in India's blood delivery network has opened door to issues like tampering with data, leading to various blood frauds. According to the National Aid Control Organization, poor blood transfusion infected 2,234 patients with HIV in the last few months and more than 14,000 illness due to impure blood transfers.
Do you know last year 12,000 people died due to scarcity of blood? And since this system is so poor, at some places we have surplus blood and at some places we have scarcity of blood. Till date, there has been no reliable, secured and scalable solution that has been able to map that difference. And thus we are trying to address all these issues using our project Ek Raktam. Here is the demo of our project.
Blockchain network to the Polygon Matic network, and after the deployment, this is the contract address, and these are the some of the blocks that have been initiated in our Polygon blockchain. So now I will walk you through our system. In our system, there are 3 user entities. First is donor, the next is blood bank, and the other is hospital. So when a donor comes to donate a blood in a blood bank, so first of all the authentication will be initiated in the blood bank. So as we have 3 user accounts initiated in our wallet, the 3 are blood bank 1, blood bank 2, and 1 hospital. So first we will, as you can see, the Vijay blood bank have some of the donors details has tested and saved, and some are pending for get verified. So when the donor comes, the donor needs to donate its blood to the blood bank. So here the blood bank will take the donor's Aadhaar number and the blood group and give the that blood ID, unique number, and the batch number, which these both are initiated in the blood units. So as we have here entered the blood ID, Aadhaar number, and the O positive blood group. And here you can see the transaction have been initiated for the blood bank 1 with the for creating our asset in our Polygon network. Now this transaction will get carry forwarded to the inspection center. Now the inspection center will test this blood, and according to the report, it will give the status as tested as safe or unsafe. Now we are testing it as safe, and now here also the same transaction will get happen, so its states can be changed for a correct verification. And here you can see the tested has it is tested as safe, and the QR code is generated. This QR code is going to attach to the blood units. So when it gets transferred to the hospital, it can again goes to the verification purpose, so that the both QR code will get matched, its hash get matched, and the hospital will know this is the correct blood unit that they have been asked for.
Now, as we have the donors who have donated the blood, we'll log in as the third entity, which is the hospital. So every hospital has a unique email ID and password and a wallet address. After logging in as the hospital people have the option of checking the blood group that they want, and we have also entered the patient's Aadhaar number, so that to ensure that the hospital is not trying to make any sell the blood in black and make money, so that the information gets stored somewhere on the blockchain and hence becomes immutable. Now, when we click on the searching button, we have also implemented an algorithm which we call the deciding factor algorithm, and based on that we try to calculate the minimum distance between the hospital and the blood bank, and this deciding factor is inversely proportional to the amount of blood that is required by the hospital. So based on the deciding factor value, all the blood banks that are present in our system get sorted in an ascending order manner, and the nearest one gets selected. So here, as we can see, Vijay blood bank is the nearest one according to the deciding factor. So we can get blood from there, and the blood is available as well. So we also have implemented the coordinate facility, so that the physical transportation of the blood can be easier, and the hospital can know where exactly that the blood bank is present. We also have a notification feature. So after our blood, the donor's blood gets accepted, he or she will receive an email saying that their blood has been donated successfully to so and so hospital. Now, as we saw earlier, that the QR code that was generated is now we can scan and check that, so we can upload that QR code, and we can again get the hash out of it, and it can be checked with the earlier uploaded the actual data that we have, the patient's data, and if both of them match. हॉस्पिटल वाला पार्ट वापस बोल दीजिए, पूरा पार्ट कट करके हॉस्पिटल वाला फिर से बोल दीजिए।
Stop कर दे।
Stop कर, we will move on to the third entity of our system, that is the hospital. First, we'll log in them through their wallet address. As we can see, HSP is their wallet address. They also have a unique email ID and password through which they can log in to the portal. So say we have a patient who requires the blood. So the hospital has an option of selecting A positive, for example, and we are also taking the Aadhaar number of the patient who requires the blood for authentication purpose to ensure that the hospital is not trying to sell the blood somewhere else and make money. So since this also gets stored in our blockchain, hence is immutable. After clicking on the search button, we have used an algorithm called the deciding factor algorithm, where we try to calculate the minimum distance as well as the amount of blood that is required by the hospital, so that we can sort the entire list of the blood banks in ascending order. So for example, so we received the Vijay blood bank, and we have also the map feature where we will be able to locate where that blood bank is exactly and how much is the distance between the hospital and the blood bank for the physical transportation of the blood. So as soon as the hospital puts in a request, a blockchain transaction is created where the details of the patient from whose blood is taken here from the blood bank is that data is virtually transferred to the hospital. After we click on the scan and check, and as we had seen earlier, the QR code that was stuck onto the physical blood packets that the hospital receives, the hospital can verify that. And as we can see, hash from the QR and the hash that was generated from the virtual data transfer is same. We know that the blood was proper and it was authorized and can be used. Then the hospital can also download the receipt where the entire detail is mentioned of the user of the donor who has donated the blood. And the donor, as well as the hospital and the blood bank, all of them will get a notification through Gmail that the blood has been accepted and where exactly it is in the supply chain. Now we can log out of the hospital, and now we move on to the donor part. The donor can enter his or her Aadhaar number and the unique blood ID that was created and track the history of the blood so that the user knows where exactly his or her blood is residing in that entire supply chain. So first, the blood was at the blood bank where he or she had gone and donated. The status initially was not verified. Then the blood was transferred to the inspection center where it was tested and put as safe. After that, the blood was transferred to this particular hospital where it was utilized. So this is how our system works. And even if we are able to impact a life of a single person through our application, we'll consider ourselves successful. So yeah, that brings us to the end of it. Thank you.